Good morning, goddammit. It's shoulders and bicep day. So, today I'm maxing out on my shoulder press. And I was pleasantly, slightly surprised, but not totally surprised, on how much stronger my shoulders have gotten. I hit a all-time uh, overhead press max here today. Body weight, lighter, and the heaviest I've ever overhead pressed. And it's funny because previously, when I was 105, 110 kilos, I was a 165 kilo bench presser, but I was barely a 75 kilo overhead presser. Overhead press was never my strong suit, and I would always have a hard time progressing it. Well, I do a bunch of frequency and volume, and it really just barely ever budge. And now, even through my weight cut, and now definitely through my bulk now, my overhead press is skyrocketing. I'm about, what am I? Shit. Essentially 25, 30 kilos lighter than the person who could bench press 165 kilos and only overhead press 75 kilos. I'm 82 right now, and yet I'm 7 kilos stronger on my overhead press, and I contribute that all to high intensity training. So here was 75. That moved super fast. That was my previous PR, all-time PR. This is 80, and this fucking kind of shot up. As soon as I get past that sticking point, it will always go up because I'm tricep dominant. And then 82 kilos. This is my body weight. So this is a body weight overhead press and an all-time PR. So switching to high intensity not only changed the aesthetics of my shoulders drastically. My shoulders are much bigger than they used to be on the side, rear, and front delts. They are stronger than they've ever been at a far lighter weight. So the idea that high intensity doesn't make you strong, it just makes you big, is fucking untrue. This was the bane of my existence, the overhead press. I always neglected it. I hated it. Part of why my delts never quite grew. And then switching to high intensity, all it does is go up, up, and up. Now, on the contrary, my bench press, I haven't trained in a long time, and that's not because of high intensity. That's just because the movement is inferior for hypertrophy for me, and it feels like shit. It hurts my shoulders, hurts my elbows, hurts my wrists. Thus, my bench press, I'd be lucky to do a 120 kilo bench press right now. I'd probably be a 110, 115 kilo bench presser. So, but what I will be doing next week is maxing out my bench press regardless. And then I won't train it at all. I'm just going to max it out, see where it is. Hopefully it's somewhere 110, 115. And then 2 months, 3 months later, when I finish my bulk, I'll do another 1 rep max on my bench press and see if dips and incline presses and overhead presses indirectly increase my bench press, regardless of the fact I'm not training it frequently enough to get neurological adaptations. I'll just see if my raw strength on the bench press increases any considerable amount. So I'm hoping that it will be, if it's say 115, by the end of the bulk it'll be 130, maybe even a 3-plate bench, just from pure strength increase of the overhead press, incline presses, and dips, because I won't be training it. It is a stupid movement, but I do like the ego of being able to bench press a lot. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think I'll be bench pressing 165 kilos anytime soon again, just because 1, I don't weigh enough, and 2, I just won't be training it enough, especially now that I'm doing high intensity. And I'm trying to build a big chest, not big triceps and sore shoulders, basically. And then, apart from that, that's out of the way. Apart from the bench press. Oh, and I'm also going to do a 1 rep max wall curl next week and see where my bicep strict curl's at. But that out of the way, today's topic is... I had something in mind. I forgot what it is. It is warm-ups. So I warm up very little comparatively to most people. Warm-ups are known to be a very paramount part of training, and I don't really see the point, actually, a lot of times. Now, granted, it depends on the exercise, your strength level, how long you've been training, your injury history, all these different considerations. But for me, at least, and healthy individuals who've been training for a while, I don't really see the point of warming up all that much if you're using good form. If you're doing a heavy deadlift, squat, bench press, overhead press, these heavy compound movements, the big 4, then yes, do a few warm-ups, or dumbbell presses, warm up, do 1 or 2. And if you're 1 rep maxing, definitely warm up quite a lot. But on most other movements, including heavy bicep curls and that are not compound but just heavy movements, I don't warm up, and I never seem to get injured at all. So yeah, I'm kind of going against the grain here massively, because it's well known that you're supposed to warm up, but I just don't do it. I do on leg days. I do a lot of prehabbing stuff where I'll roll out my glutes and stretch and stuff to get adequate mobility for squats. But I don't do much extensive warm-upping otherwise. I just jump straight into it. And so far, so good. Maybe if I ever get seriously injured from doing this, then yeah, I might change my tune. But for me, it kind of lacks research, for one, but also you lose potential adherence to your training the more warm-ups you do, because it's just more volume and stuff that you have to do. It's more effort. It's more time in the gym that I don't necessarily need to do on a bunch of different exercises. So take this with a grain of salt and take it into consideration in your own path. If you are new to training, or you are heavily injured, or you're just the kind of person that needs warm-ups for whatever reason, then by all means, definitely warm up. Don't take my advice. But if you want, and you feel like you can, experiment with lowering the warm-ups, essentially. Do less warm-ups and see what you can get away with. See if you start getting little nagging injuries or little, little tweaks here and there, or it's just very slight niggles that let you know, oh, you should probably warm up on this movement, and go from there, because it will save you time. So that's where I'm at with warm-ups. I don't see the point a lot of times. If you're training safe, you're training with good form, you really won't need that many warm-ups, if any. And even where I live, where it's a very cold climate through winter, I don't even have to warm up that much. I might be pretty cold and I still don't need a whole lot of a warm up. My synovial fluid's already pretty much there. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It could just be me. I might be a special case of someone that doesn't need to warm up much. But yeah, I feel like they're a waste of time a lot of times. A waste of time. Time is important. You only have so many time, so many hours, so many minutes in a day. I don't want to spend that fucking taking plates on and off and changing dumbbells around and shit, warming up for an exercise for me that doesn't require a warm-up. So yeah, if you can get away with not warming up so much, I'd highly suggest it. And a lot of times, warm-ups will just take away from the exercise itself. Sorry, still got this cough. If your warm-up is too extensive, like mine has been in the past, it will simply take away from your top set. If you do a bunch of squats beforehand and they're all pretty close to the weight that you're going to do on the top set, your top set's not going to be as strong as it would have otherwise been. So you got to be careful with warm-ups if you are going to do them, that you don't overdo them. You don't overkill it, because they're going to take away from that top set, and that's no good. So yeah, that's my ideas on warm-ups. Just in case anyone was wondering, like, why the fuck do I warm up on half my exercises? I just don't need to. And I'd be surprised if anyone really needed to, that had a healthy body, that weren't doing super heavy compound movements. It could also be that I'm not tremendously strong. I'm not like an elite level powerlifter, or even just, I don't have like tremendously strong standards. But in saying that, the lifts that I'm strongest on, I don't even warm up as much as the movements that I'm weaker on. Like my squats are very weak. I only squat 120 kilos, and yet I do probably a decent amount of warm up for squats. I do like 1 plate, 2 plates, and then I'll go into the squat. Whereas like my incline press, or incline dumbbell presses, I'll do like 1 warm up and then jump straight into it. And I'm, quite a lot stronger at my incline dumbbell presses relative to the strength standards than I am at my squat. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if squats are as required as they are. Oh, okay, I do know, because in fact I've trained hundreds of clients, and most of my clients are in the same boat. I don't have them warm up that much. I have them warm up on compound movements, but accessories like bicep curls, rear delts, side delts, calf raises, forearms, any of these muscles that aren't heavy compound movements, I don't have them warm up. And these are, potentially 50, 60-year-old clients who never get injured and purport a lower likelihood of injury. They'll be like, oh yeah, the other day I was doing this and I twisted really awkwardly, and normally I definitely would have got injured, but now because I'm training with you, I don't get injured or whatever. So these people aren't injury prone. They're like old people that used to be injury prone and don't even have to warm up on these exercises. And these are, granted, these are people that aren't going to absolute mechanical failure a lot of times, although some of my clients do go to failure. And again, those clients don't warm up, or they warm up very minimal. And, you know, it sounds like a great way to get sued, but truly, I think warm-ups are a bit of a psyop for the most part. So yeah, take it into consideration to your context or your situation, obviously, but without any major injuries or heavy compound movements. The consensus is that warm-ups are not required. And now I'm finishing off my workout with the nucleus overload part, but today I didn't do my traps because I'm doing heavy shrugs tomorrow, so I don't do my traps every day. Well, I do them every day except for the day before I do my actual heavy accessory trap workout. So I'm just doing my pronation, and then I do a little posing. Still haven't looked up how to pose. Back into the focus thing. And today, I'm not sure I was super focused in my workout. So I might start scaling my workouts every day from 1 to 10. And I would say my focus in this workout was a 6.5. I was very focused for the overhead press, obviously. But as I went on, I think I started losing a lot of focus. It could have been a better workout overall. But still, wasn't too bad, especially considering I hit an all-time PR. But also, I didn't focus enough to remember to look up some bicep posing. So next Monday, when I do my back day, I will try my very hardest. In fact, I'll set an alarm right now on my phone to look up some back poses before my workout. One of the best ways to remember to do things is just simply set alarms and tag that alarm for the context of what you want to do. I might talk about that tomorrow. All right, see you guys tomorrow for more Piss and Vinegar. Bye-bye.